Hi, this is Susanna Corbett. Thanks for downloading Steptod and Son.
Hello and welcome to Steptoe and Son, a podcast based at Mews Cottage, 26A, Aldrum Lane, Shepherd's Bush. This is the home of the world's most famous rag and bowmen, or as Harold would say,
Salvage Recovery Operative.
My name's Darren.
And I'm his co-host Si, also known as Two of the Three Comedios podcast that we co-host along with the amazing Tom from One Foot in the Podcast.
We hope you enjoy listening. Please check out the pod on Spotify, Insta, Twitter and all other platforms.
Hey, mate, how you
Hi,
doing?
Si, how are you, mate? All good?
Yeah, not bad. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're coming through louder than a CB.
Great stuff, mate. Yeah, how you doing, mate? You okay?
You look, where are you at the moment? You've moved rooms?
In the kitchen tonight. Yeah, it's a bit light in here, a bit cooler in here actually as well. It gets a bit warm in the old man cave.
Yeah.
So it gets cold, but in the summer it warms up pretty nice. So
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's been all right, isn't it? The weather. How's the family all good? When was the last time we podded? Wasn't it February?
we podded with well, just me and you, probably February, I think. Yeah, I was having a look through because I was trying to find the invite for this tonight. And just sort of search what the link was, and I think the last step pod we did was February. Let's have a look. In the last one we put out, just have a quick look.
The remake. I think we did the 2016 remake, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Let's have a look. 15th of Feb. Yeah, so
God,
3 months. Wow,
it's flown by. So what's been going on? I know. Well, one thing I know you've been up to is John Shuttleworth. You went and saw him live.
John Shuttleworth. Yes, Mr. Shuttleworth, and we sort of found out, didn't we, that we were both fans of Mr. Shuttleworth.
Yeah, it was sort of accidentally, wasn't it?
Accidentally, really, I guess. Yeah, but no, I've been going back a long time. 15 years now. I got invited by some pals at work to go see him and never heard of him before. And just absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So, I've seen him on and off since then. Not every time he's toured, but I thought I'd go along this time. Actually, Alex got it for me a Christmas present. Brilliant.
Yeah. Do you do what's that one? Smells Like White Spirit.
I think he did that in a medley because he did all the hits. But obviously he's got quite a few now. He's been going for, actually it was his 40th anniversary. That was the tour. It was Raise the Oof tour. 40 years on
Raise the Oof.
It's funny, there was an interview with Graham Fellows who plays him, and he said, I have to put less makeup on these days. Because the old days, I was in my late 20s playing him. I had to sort of age myself. Now it's not much hassle.
He's like Brian Potter, and he with Peter Kay playing him. He's just growing into the role. But I think I said this before, but I first heard of Shuttleworth. Do you know what? I think it was a CD. It was like early 2000s, and when I first started work about 2002, he was late 30s, 40s. The guy there that I was working with, and he said about John Shuttleworth, and he gave me like a CD of it was like a radio show he was doing.
Right,
But it's mad. I mean, it's brilliant. He's still going. So you're talking 20 years later. But on stage, I bet he's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was reading an interview with him. He said he does sometimes get genuinely nervous. And in fact, he did try another character and he got stage fright performing that character. So he actually had to stop playing that character because he just couldn't remember the lines. I think he was doing the Edinburgh Fringe or something and just said he just had a complete breakdown with it. But I think with John Shuttleworth, obviously gets away with a lot because John's supposed to be a little bit doddery and a bit forgetful. He sort of masks any kind of any sort of guess short-term memory loss or what have you. But it must be daunting if you're doing that for so long. Even you've got that many songs to try and remember. You can sort of remember the famous ones, but when you try and do new ones, it must be tricky. So he's actually carrying on. The tour sort of started at the start of the year. He's having a break, and then he's doing a few more dates in the autumn. So I'm and ahhing about taking Harrison, the young lad. He'll be 7 by then, because he's fell in love with him. Absolutely adores him. He
likes him. Yeah,
we keep playing the tracks. One of his favourites is "Can You Ken," which was album. And what was it called? Save the Whale. He likes Save the Whale. But the Man Who Lives on the M62, that's his hands down.
Oh, that one I love. It's like a really sweet song, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's based obviously the true story about that house that was it refused to sell the house.
So the story, the myth goes that the farmer at the time wouldn't sell the land, but the actual official story is that because of I'll get this word right, topography, I guess that's the right word, I think, of the land, they had to go around it because part of the land was higher and the other part was lower. So it just happened to be that point we were going to go around it anyway. But I don't know. I suppose you can believe the myth if we like, because it's a good story that someone refuses to sell. I mean, I guess the powers of the motorway, the government, they just compulsory purchase it if they really wanted it, wouldn't they? So
if you Google it, you can see it. It's just like the man on the M62 or something it is, and you can just see the motorway going around it. It's so
Stockhall
weird.
Farm, I think it's called off from memory. Yeah, I've passed it a few times when I sort
Have
of
you?
Pennines. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I listened to it a couple of weeks back as well when you were saying that you went to see him. It was I covered Jones Bolingo. Heated seats with a big window.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's just a song about a Bolingo.
Yeah, it takes some skill, to be honest, to sit there and kind of craft a story, craft a song, and what have you. Yeah, I think I was telling you one of my favorite new ones he's done was this Ballad of Dangly Man, which is the true story of the guy who got stuck trying to get to his show in the Peak District. So yeah, that's well worth a listen. The fact he's made up a story about someone who basically had to cancel his show because this guy was in danger.
Wasn't he
Yeah.
performing in a
So,
cave or something?
yeah, he was performing in the Devil's Art, I think it's called. That's its proper name.
Devil's ass.
Apparently, some of the noises it makes, sounds a bit like a fart or whatever. Apparently, so they call it Devil's Arse. And
Yeah.
we prefer to call it Satan's Bottom. That's one of the stuff in the song. Doesn't like it. Yeah, and this guy had sort of Google mapped it, trying to find it, and obviously, Google Maps perhaps doesn't recognize the fact walking towards a sheer drop. So this guy had come across some hillside, and nearly fell into the cavern below. So yeah, they were.
Christ, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
I
Not
mean,
for
that's
it,
it.
but
That's like
story.
real life being more bizarre than art, isn't it? It's one of them things.
Yeah,
Like you go
yeah.
to see a funny show, but something just as bizarre happens in real
You end up
life.
cancelling the show because of
So
that.
canceling the show. Yeah. They still don't know if the guy ever turned up because they did invite him back. They're not sure if he ever turned up. Obviously, I'm sure you'd
The embarrassment, yeah. I
be.
think, we've got together, haven't we, since we last podded for the Dad's Army tour we did in
We did do
'88.
the Dad's Army tour. Yeah, fantastic day that was. Yeah.
I
So
did see the Dad's
sweet.
Army Museum we went to in Thetford. Joe Pasquale was there the other day. He
Yeah, there
tweeted.
was something, wasn't there? Yeah, there was some social media stuff I picked up on that they'd had like a big event, hadn't they? I think were they talking about it when we went? I can't remember.
Yeah, we went. Was it the opening weekend or the second
Yeah,
weekend? It
start
was
of April,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Is it?
Bressingham, they were having something on at Bressingham, weren't they? I think they were saying,
Yeah,
which is the museum up the road, which we didn't go and see, but I think that's one of the sort of they had some links with it there or something. But
yeah. No, it was really
nice
good.
little
I
tour
don't know if
around Thetford, didn't we? Had a look around some of the
yeah,
locations.
good tour. Well, we spoke when we recorded the evening podcast we did. We spoke about the first day we got there. I had like fish and chips, and we went opposite, and the only place open was the British Legion.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Tom got in there, gift of the gab, so we got in there. It was me with fish and chips and a pint of ale, and then he entered the Grand National because it was the national the
Of
next
course,
day.
yeah.
So he put £2 in, not thinking anything. Of course, he bloody won it, didn't he? He's the winner.
Oh, that's
So
brilliant.
he had
Yeah.
to go back the next morning. I'd already left. He went the next morning, waiting for the British Legion to open to claim his £40.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, no, that's it, isn't it? In it got to be in it to win it, haven't you? That's it.
yeah. And to be
That's a
fair,
good
we
bit
spent
of
quite
luck.
a bit in that Legion, on drinks
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
it. You've sort of just
So
kind
yeah,
of made your money back a little bit, haven't you? I suppose, but
yeah. Well, he did. I didn't see a penny of it. But, but yeah, he's
yeah, no, it was interesting to see how the town has obviously developed since then. But obviously, some things don't change, do they? Some locations, like the older town, the older buildings, particularly, sort of have just aged a bit, but you can still see the outlines. Again, we were saying it's a weird thing because we were watching. Sorry, we were Let's start again. We were reminiscing about something from the 70s that was actually supposed to be set in the 40s, wasn't it? So we're looking at locations in the 70s that are supposed to be locations in the 40s. So it's all a bit weird anyway, isn't it? But
It's so odd, yeah, because I remember we were going down a bit. I think it's Boots, where they film going past those houses, and we went down there, and it was all satellite dishes across there. And it just feels weird to think, like, you think, yeah, you're right. We're thinking of it as 70s, but it wasn't. It was actually 80 years ago now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But like I say, we recommend anyone to go to, the Dad's Army Museum. I mean, it's
Yeah.
free, which is
Free to get in. You
unreal.
can't argue with that, can you? No.
Oh, it's unreal. And the gifts in it, like I said, the gift shop was very reasonably priced. So they tend to be a bit overpriced, these places, don't they? But I think me, you, and Tom spent about 80 quid in there.
Yeah, I picked up some beer, and some postcards, and
Yeah.
a few other things. Yeah, there's no tat in there, was there? It was all nicely
No,
thought
it was
out
all good
stuff,
stuff, wasn't it?
related to the show. Yeah, and just the sort of amount of information they've gathered together, costumes, props, things like that. It was just lovely, wasn't it? It's like a
But they
real
were saying these loads that they've got so much, it's in a warehouse that they can't fit it all
yeah,
in that museum. So I wonder what what we're
yeah.
not seeing.
I suppose it's worth going back in a few years. You can then see
Mm,
some other stuff if they're cycling it around, I suppose. So yeah,
yeah.
I plan to take my dad there for a day out. I think he'd love it.
Oh yeah, you'd love it. Yeah, that'd be good.
And,
It's such an odd town, isn't it? It's sort of
hmm.
it's stuck. It's a bit stuck in the past. I don't mean that in a bad way, but at the same time, it's like very diverse and very modern
I
on
think the
some
outer
parts
edges,
of the
particularly,
town.
there were like lots of big retail shops and stuff
Mm,
which you see in a lot of towns these days, don't you? But then when you drive into the old town,
mm,
the some of the stuff, like you say, there's an old style butcher's there, isn't there? There's a marketplace,
yeah.
there's an old town hall and everything. So yeah, they have kind of moved with the times to some degree, but also kept it nice, which is it's kind of good balance, isn't it? I suppose. Like
It's good. Well, it felt like I kept saying to Tom, it felt like a seaside town, but it was
yeah,
what 20 miles from the coast.
yeah,
But
yeah.
even
Oh
walking
yeah, at
around in the
least.
evening, I
Yeah,
was like, this just feels like we're close to the beach,
yeah. Had that
like
feel
Warrington
about
on
it.
Sea.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
So,
It's interesting they didn't pick somewhere to film that was by the sea. I guess they were wanting somewhere
mm,
where they could film the army bits. Obviously, we couldn't get onto the military area
mm.
for obvious
No,
reasons.
Tom did try, didn't he?
We did, yeah. We tried to get into the water tower.
That's it. Yeah.
That was literally surrounded by trees. I was reading up on that. Apparently, they actually filmed. This is so odd. They filmed the Living Daylights James Bond film there.
Did they? Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
inside. They didn't actually film any exterior stuff, but they filmed a scene inside there because it's
yeah.
apparently kitted out in such a way that it's suited something in that film. But yeah,
That's
it's odd, isn't
brilliant
it?
fact.
Like all
Yeah.
these little hidden gems dotted around. Like
Yeah.
it's
Do you know
got.
what? I've come around more towards Timothy Dalton as a Bond.
Oh
I think
mate,
I think he was always saying like
yeah,
as him and George Lazenby were seen as the worst, but I think Dalton, you look at it now, he was playing Bond in the 80s as Daniel Craig does now.
yeah. He was giving it a real after the Roger Moore years, particularly giving it
Mm,
a real serious edge. I
mm,
mean, License to Kill. I just one of them films that I didn't really appreciate much growing up. Which was another Bond
mm.
film, but you watch it now and it's just a cracking film, like in its own right. It's not altogether that Bondy in some ways because obviously he's gone off on his own, hasn't he, and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a great film, and he's such a badass in it, really, isn't he?
Yeah. Like proper I know he wasn't too serious, but then he wasn't
No,
like tongue in cheek, look
no,
at this pen, it's a gadget, sort of thing. I
yeah,
thought it was really good. And when I watch him back, I think, he was 20 years too soon, really, wasn't it? He was just too good for
yeah, I think
that
so.
time.
He was supposed to do a third, but they had some trouble with the sort. I think it was something to do with the rights of the whole Bond franchise, and they had to delay. And then he eventually resigned, and then obviously
Mm.
Pierce Brosnan got in, but that was it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he'd done a third one, what he would have done. Because
Yeah, well, pretty interesting where he took it. But no. Oh, I don't know if have I told you this? My latest eBay splurge for Steptoe and Son.
okay,
I I managed to find, right, I've ordered. So it's a copy of the Totten Times.
oh
So
yeah,
it's
you sent me a picture. Yeah, nice.
yeah, the official newsletter, the Steptoe and Son Appreciation Society, and it's from the May 1996 copy.
Oh wow.
It is brilliant, mate. It's such a, do you know what? It's incredible. It's like a snapshot of the mid 90s, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean and it's by I think president was Ms. Lisa Sargent, based in Stanford-le-Hope, and it's got
Okay.
like a list of all the audio and video librarians. It's a pen pal
Yeah.
service.
Yeah. Nice.
There's merchandise in the middle, right? So you can order, send an SAE. That dates it, doesn't it?
Does, doesn't it? Stamp for envelope. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, send your name and address plus payment at £3.50, and it's all like exclusive photographs. I don't know if you can see them like that.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant.
It's
Yeah.
Corbett
Nice.
and Bramble. and just pictures you've never seen before.
Mm.
But no, it's fascinating, mate. I'll send you once I've read it, I'll send it up to you.
Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, it'd be great. Are they still going?
No, from what I could tell, it'd be interesting to try and reach out to Lisa Sargent.
Mm.
From what I could tell, it stopped. I think I've read this on a YouTube comment. It stopped in the early 2000s, so this is
Okay.
96.
Yeah.
And they've got in their exclusive interview with Galtman Simpson,
Yeah.
comedy playwrights. It's so much in you.
Yeah.
And it's also got words from Tessa LaBar's, was she the director, Tessa LaBar's? That was the one. I'm
Okay.
sure David Clayton said he interviewed her,
Oh, okay.
and he recorded it on a dictaphone.
Oh, and the one, yeah, you can't quite get it off the
That's
tape.
it. Yeah, the audio corrupted or something. But
Oh.
and it's got a bit about Sanford and Son. Yeah, it's like a little script in there.
Mm.
But is a few of these available on eBay? That's probably the only place you can find them. But yeah,
Oh,
it's called
nice.
the
Oh, that's
Totten
cool.
Times.
I do enjoy a good fanzine. Yeah, I regularly
Yeah.
through the eBay for old Sheffield United ones from the 90s and 2000s.
It's something quite quaint about it. Like just this is what made me
Hmm.
think of you on the back is the last of the Summer Wine Appreciation
Oh,
Society.
nice.
So there's Mr.
Nice. Yeah,
all the
I did.
names.
I knew there was one, and I think it's moved online now. It's mainly a message board. I think that's kind of where people tend to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool, isn't it? To have
Well,
that.
that was by Mr. Clive Eardley, based in Normanton.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and there's another one. It's called the Oh Miss Jones Fellow Fan Club. So you can imagine what that is. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that's gone on Twitter because I've seen Oh Miss
Oh,
Jones.
nice.
A podcast, possibly.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
no, I don't think it is. I think it's just like a fan page.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it's just fascinating.
A bit of fandom from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, but there's so much. Like I said, it's when you sort of put it in a magazine yourself, and it's
Mm,
a fan thing. It's not a professional
mm.
publication. But it also says on the back, wanted. Does anyone out there have any or all of the following programs? And they sort of list the programs that Corbett and all would have been in, or Wilfred Bramble would have been in,
Oh,
like Alice in Wonderland,
oh, okay.
1966.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. I see. Have a look on eBay, and anyone out there,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I think you can get it for about a tenner,
yeah.
which is
Well,
well worth it.
speaking of eBay, that segues quite nicely into I had a bit of a rare stroke of luck, didn't I, with the Galton and Simpson book.
Yeah.
Don't think we've talked about this on pod, have we? We've talked about it off pod, but so you've already got it, didn't you? I didn't know you'd already. I think you might have told me you'd already got it, but it must have slipped my mind. So, and I was just browsing for something else, and it was one of
Yeah.
these deals you could buy 5 get 2 free or something like that. I don't know what it was. World of Books, I think it was. And yeah, I just came across the Golden Simpson one, so then I'll put that in the bundle. And when it came, it was signed by Ray and Alan themselves, which was like, wow,
Yeah.
I've paid like £2 for this or something silly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we actually looked at the signatures, didn't we, and like
yeah,
compared them to
yeah.
their actual real signatures, and we can't spot any differences.
That's the difference. And there has been ones put on eBay. In fact, I had a look this evening. It's still on there for about £75. So it's obviously something they did do. They did have a book signing for that book, because it wasn't just something that someone had decided to try and pretend it was them. And obviously it did happen because there's more than one copy of it out there. So yeah, so now it's well chuffed with that. Sort
Oh,
of.
you've got a hell of a bag in it, I mean, yeah, an actual signed. I mean, it was meant to be, mate.
Well, I guess a
You
big
know?
warehouse company, they're not going to check every book as long as it looks in
No.
good condition. They're just going to put it in a pile, aren't they? So
Mm.
or who knows what you could find in books, mate? You could find money, couldn't you? Or
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was strange.
into a safe deposit box or something.
Yeah. Well, the one I bought, it was a receipt in there from about 2003.
Oh,
It was
nice.
immaculate condition, the receipt, so it just put in
Yeah.
there and left.
I love
So
a bit of history like that, mate. It's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a snapshot of someone's day,
Yeah,
just
that's
kept
it.
in there.
I must admit, I do keep bookmarks in my books. I'm terrible for books. I kind of start reading
Mm.
them and I sort of move on and never finish them. No, so let me rephrase that. I have read most of the books I've got, but when I want to reread them, I never read them all the way through. So I'll sort of flit about. So I've got hundreds of books upstairs just with
Yeah,
bookmarks in them. Eventually I'll come back to
it's
them.
just the
But
time in it. Yeah, it's just
fine, mate. It's like anything, isn't it? Sort of,
yeah.
busy. But
Have you listened to any new podcasts lately, or?
So yeah, I've been dabbling at. I've been going to what did I find recently? There's one called Bad Movies Rule, which is a very American one, but they basically talk through films they consider to be rubbish and then decide if it's rubbish or not, which quite
Oh, okay,
interesting because quite a few films I think are rubbish. They disagree with them, vice versa. So that's quite a good one to listen to if you just fancy, you
that's
know.
good. That
I like
and
to hear other people's opinions on things, things that I'm
yeah.
really into that I kind of think, I agree with that or I disagree with that or whatever you don't.
But it's funny, if, like you say, bad movie. I find like there's films I loved as a kid. I look back now and think, but then it's gone the other way around as well. Some films I thought were quite bad, they sort of
Mm.
achieve cult status, don't they? And you sort of look at them differently.
Yeah, like Masters of the Universe from the 80s with Dolph Lundgren. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
love
universally
that.
panned as being just this terrible film, but I love
Yeah,
it, as a kid, and I love it now. I've watched it again recently, and it's cheesy as hell, but it's just brilliant. It's just
but they're doing a new one, aren't they?
they supposedly, yeah, that's
Well,
what I've
there's
yeah.
clips on Twitter of him filming it. I can't remember
Oh,
the name of the
okay.
actor, but
Nice.
you see the
Yeah.
actor on there, and he looks perfect for the role. And then
Yeah.
like the longish ear, but yeah, they
Yeah.
are filming it. Whether it'll go, get
Oh,
to be
nice.
released and all that,
No, no,
but
no, that'll be good.
which
That'll
is
be
good.
good.
Yeah, I used to love He-Man and
He-Man, that was it.
as a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, proper
I've also been
80s.
listening to a pod about JFK. I've always got a bit of
Oh, okay.
history there, dabbling with that. So,
Any new theories?
still the same, really. This is done by there's a director called Rob Reiner. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's quite big in America. He's
Oh, Rob
involved
Reiner. Yeah.
in a convoluted way. He's involved with the Fawlty Towers reboot because he owns the production company that they're using apparently. So
Right.
yeah, anyway, he's quite into it and he's kind of collaborated with this podcaster to basically dispute the whole Warren Commission, which I don't know.
That's fact. Do you know
That's
what? I
keep an
did
open
hear a
mind.
theory because you think you've heard everything on JFK, didn't you? But I
Yeah,
heard a theory a couple of months back that he's not. What's she saying that they're saying that it was he was shot from the front, but
yeah.
by the
Okay.
driver. And
Oh,
they're
okay.
saying when
Right.
Jackie gets up and crawls across the car,
Yeah.
'cause she crawls back, she's trying to tell the bodyguard that it's the driver.
Oh, really?
She's trying to
Ah,
say, I think the whole head position just throws you off,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's been the footage, there's a brood of footage, it's just been
Pretty good,
so
yeah.
edited and
Oh,
you
of
can't
course, yeah.
trust it now, can you?
No, you can't trust it. Yeah, yeah.
But there,
I
yeah,
think it's just the way the FBI, the CIA behaved after it. If you read lots of testimonies, they kind of discarded lots of evidence and only picked the evidence they wanted that fitted the hypothesis they had. And yeah, it's I don't know. Obviously, yeah, we're looking at something that was groundbreaking in history, and obviously, I guess
mm,
you want to tell the American public this is what happened because if there's any doubt, then that creates kind of distrust, doesn't it? So they want to keep it. This is the official story, but
yeah.
yeah, I just don't believe a lone gunman could do all that. I just don't believe
No, no,
might of
no,
the US Secret Service was just defeated by one person. Like,
too
even then,
convenient that, isn't it? No, there's no way.
after Abe Lincoln had been killed and 100 years before, you think lessons would have been learned even in the 60s. But
Dangerous job, that, isn't it?
yeah,
You
that's
better
it. They
get
didn't end up doing it.
assassinated,
I
yeah.
mean, someone's had a go at Trump, haven't they? But
Yeah, yeah, God. And
didn't.
even that is a bit iffy, isn't it? The way that went, with
Oh yeah,
about the
yeah,
next day or something, there was no mark on him, and
yeah.
with the blood, and
Odd.
but yeah, no, he could. But no, I love like a sort of conspiracy podcast, but
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's good. Just keeps your mind open, doesn't it? Don't believe everything you're told. What about
that's
yourself?
it.
Has there been any pods recently?
No, Radio Rental again. I don't know if I'm sure I've told you about this.
I've
The
actually got it
paranormal
on the
one.
playlist. Yeah, I was
With
just looking.
it,
Yeah,
it caused a bit of uproar with the fans really because there's been a gap for about 5 months
right.
of nothing, and I think they said they're going to release new episodes January. I think they released one or two, and then they're going to release more in June. But it's people who obviously pay for it, the patrons,
Uh,
and they're not getting any new episodes. But is that one? And probably the only other one I listened to was the Royal Ramble, because Tom
oh,
went on
okay.
there.
Oh yeah, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, our mate Tom. So he did Blurting Mrs. Merton, which was really good. One of the guests she had on there on that episode they reviewed was Dave Lee Travis. So it was a bit, yeah.
Timely. Yeah, or different.
But have a listen to it. Yeah, they do. It's a good review.
Okay.
They both
Yeah,
do
yeah,
with
yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he was good Royal Rumble. He says he gone on to do the grapes, hasn't he? The early
Yeah,
doors, hasn't he now? Yeah, was he?
good. Yeah, I like his voice as well. He's got a good podcast voice.
Yeah, and he's done it on his own as well, which is, tricky
Mm.
to do, isn't it? To kind of, run a pod on your own, and obviously I've tried it with my Memby and Badley one, and I do find it's better when you've got someone to talk to, unless have the time to put in all the research and discussion, because you've got to keep it flowing yourself. It's
Yeah,
interesting if you can bounce off somebody, I think, but yeah, that's not to say you
yeah.
can do it. It's definitely doable, but
But
yeah,
no, the reason for the pod tonight. So we go back to the 90s again. This seems to happen a lot. So back in January 1999, John Thompson and Freddie Jones,
yes,
they both appeared as a radio play. So the BBC decided to remake Galton and Simpson Playhouse, certain TV shows, adapt them onto the radio. And one of the ones was The Offer, which is obviously the pilot episode of Steptoe. So I think it's only about, was it 26 minutes long?
yeah, it's kind of pretty much the same length. I mean, was it the same script? I think it was.
Yeah, I think
I'm
what
not.
I tried to look at it and I couldn't see any difference.
No, I'm not completely au fait with the offer as much as I am with other episodes, but
Mm,
all the plot points were there. The fact he was trying to get out and all this sort of stuff, and then he doesn't get out at the end, and
mm.
yeah, so it was kind of like just using the same script, I'm assuming. So
Mm. Yeah, no, that episode, like, I love it because it obviously started. It's the reason why we got Steptoe, because
no,
without that,
absolutely,
because it
yeah,
impressed the what was the director's name? Tom something, impressed him, and then they turned it into a series. But do you know what, listening to this version, like John Thompson, obviously the actor, he's been
Mm,
around years and years. Um, Excellent. Freddie Jones, I didn't think I knew a lot about, but he is. He's done loads of films and TV.
yeah,
But I found out just now his son is Toby Jones,
yeah.
the
It's weird.
Detectorists, and loads of other,
Dad's
Jurassic
Army,
Park.
play Captain Mariner, Dad's Army
Yeah,
reboot,
God,
one
yeah,
of the
yeah,
Jurassic,
obviously.
one of the
But
Jurassic
that's
Park films.
his dad, so he played
Yeah.
Albert, and John Thompson played Harold.
He passed away a few years ago, didn't he? He got to the good old age of 90. So but he was in Emmerdale. I never watched Emmerdale, but he was in Emmerdale for quite a long time. Um, so a lot of people might recognize him from that. Um,
Yeah.
but he'd done Hammer horror films. He'd been in several of those in the 70s.
Oh, D. Brilliant.
Yeah, so I would call him a presence actor in the sense that he was quite larger than life, and I think his
Mm.
delivery of Albert is very. I've actually written the word boisterous here and dramatic. It's kind of
Yeah.
more, Wilf did it very weaselly, spindly type character, whereas, Freddie's doing it. And fair to play to him, he's not trying to copy Wilf, is he? He's doing it in
No.
a way. It's almost like it's been taken and set up north because John Thompson's got his northern accent still.
Well,
It's not dropped.
yeah.
And I was looking where Freddie Jones was from Stoke, so West Midlands, Midlands area. So he kind of, again, that northern element, neither of them are playing it Cockney.
Mm,
So yeah, it's different, but
mm.
I guess it had to be because if there was someone, even then in the 90s, someone was doing a copy of Wilf and Harold, they'd be like, well, it's just a copy, isn't it? Why are we doing that? So yeah, interesting take on it.
Yeah, I thought I picked up straight away on the accent because I thought it wasn't so much with John Thompson, I didn't notice, but especially the old man. I thought I'm not sure it works with it because he's slightly northern accent.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and it just shows how. I mean, you have like those sort of characters everywhere, but I think they work best as Cockneys and
Yeah,
Shepherd's
yeah.
Bush, Londoners. I just think that seems to suit that better.
Mm,
It's mad because obviously Wilford Bramble was Irish,
yeah,
um, and then he developed a posh accent really, didn't he, just to
yeah,
sort of
good
get
job.
roles. But he didn't show how good Bramble and Corbett were because I know it's hard on a radio show to get, sort of characters across, but listening to this one. I wasn't sort of as entertained and enthralled as the original. I know
Yeah,
you can never emulate the original,
no.
but it just shows like we did the other remake, to me, the 2016, and
Yes,
again, great
yeah,
actors,
the
but
TV version one. That's right. Yeah,
TV, yeah, but even that, like that, some of that dragged. And I
yeah.
thought I've never
Mm.
watching Steptoe, I've never felt this episode's dragging.
In direct contrast to when we saw our friends from
Oh, Dan and Giorgio.
yeah, Dan and Georgia, thank you. Yeah, who let's face it, were doing very good versions of the characters that Wilf and Harold play, that Harry played, and yeah, were entertaining, weren't they? They captured the spirit
Yeah.
of the original really well. So, that was an example of how to nail it, basically. Because they did a few others with this Golden Simpson, didn't they? They did. I've written them down here actually. I had a quick look.
Do they do the Blood Donor with Paul Merton?
Now that came. So I think there's two things. What Paul Merton did his own series independent of this mini series, and he did it on telly, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
I've never actually seen them. I like Paul Merton in I've Got News for You, but I've never seen him as an actor. So yeah, I don't know how good those are. But yeah, they did the Clerical Error, had June Whitfield in, Naught for Thy Comfort, and Clicot a Fila. So they were the three other ones. And
it's good to have June Whitfield in because she was in the original. Sure, yeah.
Well, interestingly, 10 years later, they did another Golden Simpson radio series. They did 4 different episodes, and they
Yeah.
got Rick Mail in for one of them, and it's called, I think I've sent you a link for it before.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. That's
I
the
tell
one.
you,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know it was Rick Mail until
The original was Len Rossiter. And it's
yeah. What's he
fantastic. 22 minutes of television. So
I'll tell you, it's Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. I recommend anyone watch that because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they did that, and they did something called The Impasse and a few others. Basically,
is that with Mitchell and Webb?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So I've never listened to it. We're gonna have to, but yeah, I couldn't believe the Rick Mail. What was it? Because funny enough, I was sorting out tickets today because it's the Rick Mail festival soon.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Spa. I've got that week Saturday, so I was working out. I've actually got tickets to see Angelos Epithemiou.
Oh mate,
He's
brilliant.
there. Yeah, it only come up at sort of last minute, and he's there on a Wednesday night. I thought I'm going there on the weekends with the kids. The following weekend I'm going with Rob, kid who came on 3 Comedians.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to get a day in the week to see something because it's spread out over about 8 days.
Okay, that's nice.
So yeah, they come up. There's £15 for Angelos Epithemiou.
Oh, can't beat that, can you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but yeah. So no, I can't wait. It's just a couple of weeks, and I'll send some pictures on there.
Yeah, no, that'd be brilliant, mate. That'd be really, really good. Yeah.
Oh, I'll do it. By the way, I meant to say I'll do that with the Tot in Times as well. I'll take a couple of pictures and stick it on their social media.
Yeah, nice one.
On the old Twitter. Don't forget we're still on Twitter and Instagram and the Step Pod and Son. And YouTube.
So yeah, going back to the offer then, the 1999 one. It's interesting. I'll be honest, I'd never heard of it until you told me about it. So it's been an interesting bit of history to add to the Steptoe story, I suppose. Yeah, because it is a Steptoe.
Well, it kept the dark theme, didn't it? I know it was the same script, but it was still like the bit where Harold's trying to get his golf clubs to go.
I'll be off now, then. Go and get the horse.
You're not having the horse.
I want the horse.
The horse is mine. I'm not giving him to you.
I only wants to borrow him. I want to get my stuff moved in.
No, you're not having him. You've never liked him. You've never had one good word to say to him all the time we've had him.
I've got to have the horse. That's how am I going to get this stuff out?
That's your problem, ain't it? You're not having the horse.
You're all right. Keep your stinking horse. That ain't gonna bother me. I'll move this gear myself. I don't want any favours from you, mate. I've never had any in the past, and I don't want none now. That's just another reason for going. I'll soon have this lot on the move.
What are you doing now?
What do you think I'm doing? You got eyes? If I can't have the horse, I'll get between the shafts and I'll pull the rotten thing myself.
You'll never do that.
Won't I? We'll see.
That's right.
And he's literally got like one club. And he's like, I'll take the cart. And I was like, you're not taking that cart. And he's like, well, how am I going to carry it all? And then, the bit where he's obviously trying to push the hand cart and he starts crying. And they kept that sort of theme. But it felt a bit darker, didn't it? I thought so anyway. It felt darker than...
The background music as well. It seemed to be like, was it like horse and cart clip-clopping? I could just about make that out. It was sort of like a maybe I may imagine that. I don't know. It was
No,
just
no, I don't remember that, but yeah, it was just a.
yeah. It was obviously a low key production, and I think,
Mm,
like you say, a lot is lost. Obviously, when you listen to the radio shows, you can, if you've seen the TV shows, you can
mm,
imagine what's going on. You know, obviously the radio shows that Harry and Wilf did, um, but this kind of, just didn't carry the same weight. I didn't think.
yeah.
Yeah. If you hadn't known it was Steptoe, you would have wondered what was going on at first.
Mm,
There was nothing familiar about it apart from the words, really, was there? So,
mm,
again, different, interesting way of doing it. Maybe they deliberately did that to,
yeah.
give it some
Well,
distance.
even though I probably picked a different episode, but then I suppose it might. Well, I think it would have worked better, but I think The Offer is a tough episode to do.
It is,
Mm,
yeah, because you've got so much riding on it. It's the
mm,
kind of starting point of the whole show, isn't it? And yeah, I think I'll be honest, I think there's better episodes in series one, but obviously you have to
mm,
start somewhere, don't you? And have to establish the
mm.
characters
And
and
it is just literally you say you don't know them. It's just literally father and son,
Mm.
rag and bowman. The son's trying to get away. He's
Yeah,
39 and realizes he doesn't want to be there, and that's literally it. And the rest is just their
yeah,
reactions to it, and you sort of
Mm.
see the scheming of Albert.
yeah.
Um, but I think don't know, like it's like Northern accents. It's normally like more lovable and softer. But I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
get
you
that
kind of
this for
think of
this.
sort of, the Raw Family and
Mm,
all the sort of northern-based sitcoms. Yeah, it's a little, like you say, a little softer, but like I say, it was just something about Freddie Jones's delivery. It was just so
mm.
very. It was almost like he was
Bit
on
raspy his
stage.
voice, wasn't it? A
Yeah,
bit.
raspy. That's a great way of
Mm,
describing it, mate. Yeah, I was trying to think what it was.
but
I'll be honest. Before I read who it was, I knew who it was because I remembered him, just his
mm.
voice. He has such a distinctive voice from clips of him. Yeah, like you say, it's great. He's got a link to his son being
Yeah, because
classic actor
he's
now
such a good
himself.
actor, isn't he,
He
Toby?
is very diverse actor. He was in
Yeah,
Midsomer Murders for a long time, wasn't he? He was like a pathologist in that, and then he's obviously done, like you say, detectorists and
yeah. Well, even like Jurassic Park, I had on the other day, he was in it, and
popping up in nice.
yeah, you
So,
think, wow,
yeah, made it in Hollywood. That's it, isn't it?
that's it. Yeah, he's made a few bends. But yeah, so we want a great deal to say about it, really. But it's
No,
on. I think it's on a brilliant website called radioechoes.com.
that is
It's,
a good website. I've used that a few
do you
times.
know what? I think you might have sent it to me.
Did I? All right, okay, brilliant.
You know,
Yeah,
I've listened. Well, I've
listened
put
to
it. I've
several
had
things
listened
on
to it for
there, but I
about
can't
I don't
find
know
the
how
other
long,
ones.
but yeah. But there's Dad's Army stuff on there. There's
Yeah, I being served stuff on there. One foot in the graves on there, I think, as well.
yeah, I think it is. It's got to
Basically,
be a
any Radio 4 kind of sitcom type thing that you remember from yesteryear will probably be on there.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
good
speaking of
looking.
that, well, this is what a few ideas coming up with. You sent me a clip the other day of a novelty song. So
Oh
it was
yeah,
Harry Corbett
yeah. It
singing.
randomly came up. I don't know. It must be the
It was-
algorithms just doing their business. I
yeah,
look for Steptoe a bit here and there, and it
yeah.
came up. I was like, oh right,
So what's
that's
it called? It's the Old Junk Shop, sung
the
by
old drink
Harry
shop.
Corbett.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
brilliant.
It's
Um,
yeah, unique. And again, I don't think I've read about it before. Anyway, you thought you'd have heard it like mentioned somewhere, but yeah. And I
but
guess
that got us thinking then, because you don't really hear like any comedy songs now, novelty songs like that from the actual actors doing it. So we've come up with a list of them. I don't know if you pick your top three or
sorry, off there. Yeah, I've got a few honorable mentions as well. Actually, quite a few when it came down to it. But yeah, top three definitely. So
But what I'll do, I'll put one in the background because, the Old Junk Shop I'll put in the background, so hopefully the listeners can hear it. But it's only a short song. It does remind me of. Do you remember I sent you one before? It was Wilford Bramble brought out a whole album.
yes,
But it was weird. It wasn't connected to Steptoe, but he basically did it in Albert's voice.
interesting. Yeah,
So we were sort of like, it's quite. He's singing about how.
Steptoe fame, I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah, because you think, like we said, his voice was quite posh, but he put on, you
yeah.
he
When
put on
he's
that sort of, and I remember him singing about how things that cost more than they do, and money doesn't go as far.
yeah,
But like I said, that was Albert's voice. So, but also, yeah, I've come up with a couple, mate.
okay.
I couldn't ever put them in top three.
No, it's fine. Yeah, just let's just see what you come up with. Really, see if we've got the same ones. Yeah,
But I'll tell you the one I come up with, and it reminds me of a certain episode of Steptoe. Is Right Said Fred
Oh yeah,
by
Bernard
Bernard
Cribbins.
Cribbins.
Yeah,
I tell you why,
fantastic.
because it reminds
Yeah.
me of them shifting the piano. You know, the piano episode.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the
Yeah.
words of Right Said Fred, he's saying,
Yeah.
we'll have to take the door out, we'll have to take the wall out. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
But
Oh, he
yeah.
was so talented, Bernard Cribbins, wasn't he? Like,
Oh, I love him. I think his voice as well
yeah.
it just comes through really well.
Yeah. He was just very comforting. That's the best word to describe it. And yeah. Oh, that's a great shout. I didn't think of that one.
He's such a humble guy as well. I've seen like he did an interview about the character he played in Faulty Towers.
Oh yeah.
What was his name? Mr. He was that awkward one. They
Tom
thought
Tom brought him up as being one of the Weasleyiest characters, didn't he? Yeah.
yeah, they thought he was a hotel inspector. He wasn't. But anyway, he's talking afterwards and he was quite humble about it. He's saying, well, I did my best with
Mm.
that character. I thought he was a brilliant standalone character.
Yeah, it's funny that you think of him now. Obviously, he's done loads of things, but he was, the central character in that episode, really, in many ways.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like
he holds his own with
he
Cleves, doesn't
does. I was just going to say, like
he's
he's going in there against a heavyweight like Cleves, who'd already made his name in the Pythons and everything. But to sort of go toe to toe with him and obviously in character sort of ways, almost gets the better of him. Isn't easy to do, because a lot of characters go in there and they're kind of very one dimensional, but he was yeah.
Tom does a good impression of him. Obviously, when he goes, oh, that's tepid, that.
Yeah.
Tepid. Who says tepid? So, was it? And the peas are an integral part of
That's
the
it.
omelette.
Peas.
Frozen peas.
Off.
Oh, they're not fresh.
Oh, you put pea off.
Pea off, yeah. Although I always say, who's ever heard of a post office?
Yeah, roast office. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Pea off.
We've been rewatching Faulty recently, and you just forget how great some of the lines are. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Richards. That's another one, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
Apparently, it's like what they call it, Mandela effect. You know when he's in the window with Mrs. Richards and he goes, herds of wildebeest sweep it. He never says the word majestically, but in my mind, he says it, sweeping majestically across because she goes,
no.
he points out the window and he goes, that's Torquay, madam. And she goes, it's not
Torquay,
good enough. And he's like, what do you expect? But he never ever says the word majestically, and I don't. In my mind, he does.
Yeah.
It's just a weird Mandela effect.
Well, we're talking about John Cleese. He's brought a book out. He's bringing a book out about Faulty Towers. He's sort of his favourite bits from it and stories behind it. He's also doing a speaking tour. He's coming to the Lowry in Manchester. Don't know if that will sell out fairly quickly, but I thought it was really cool. For still,
You're gonna go?
I don't know. I'll have a look. So, it's one of them things. He's not going to be with us. We hopefully with us for a long time, but he's 86. I think. Well, actually, he's been around forever, is he? So, obviously, he's a comedy heavyweight, isn't he? And, yeah, but it'd be interesting to hear some stories. Obviously, he has alluded to lots of stories. He's done a few commentaries on the DVDs and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's been his biggest hit. Like, I think anyone would disagree.
Yeah, to me, it's better than I love Python, but I think Faulty Towers was funnier.
Yeah, I was talking to my father-in-law about this, saying, like, what's he done since? It's all did a fish called Wanda, and he did a few other bits, but nothing as you'd think, he would have done a different sitcom or whatever. A bit like Rowan Atkinson's done several different sitcoms and been successful, but no, he's obviously just maxed out on that one, I guess. But yeah, we'll always have it. Always be worth listening to, won't it? But anyway, back to Bernard Cribbins. Yeah, so great choice.
So no, Right Said Fred.
Right Said Fred. Yeah.
We was getting nowhere.
Yeah.
So then we had a cup of tea. Yeah, so I came up with that. Also, ones I remember from being a kid. Do you remember Star Trekking?
I've got that down on my list, mate. Oh wow, that's on my list.
Yeah, just such a
great song,
it was almost haunting from listening to that as a kid. But yeah, Spitting Image, and the lyrics to that are insane.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow.
Yeah.
My first experience with that was when we went first holiday abroad I had in Spain in '93. They had a kids club in the evening, and they played that. They played the Time Warp. They played the Music Man like every evening. You had to dance to it.
Black Lace.
Star Trekking was in there. It's like bizarre, but that was it.
It's just like you can hear it now, and you just transported back, thinking, "Oh God, that's proper earworm." And then the other one I came up with my daughter loves this. This is a proper Halloweeny one. They did the mash. They did the monster mash.
Boris. No, what was his name?
Go on. If you know the name of him and the band, owe you so much respect because it's such a
Should know this because I've got it. I've got it on me iTunes. Oh man.
it's brilliant, isn't it?
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight.
Sweet.
Monster Mash.
The Monster
Tell
Mash.
me, mate, it's gone. It's gone.
God, it was Bobby Boris Pickett,
That's it. I knew
And
there
the
was a
Crypt
box in there
Kickers.
somewhere.
but the Crypt Kickers as well.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
Have you seen him performing it? His old black and white.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
He's just pulling. He's like pulling faces. He's been. So, it was a graveyard smash. They did the Monster Mash.
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
it'd be cool
working
if
in the
someone just
lab.
sang in that style. Like, we've had the Addams Family rebooted 100 times. Can't someone do like a song to tie in with that in that style? It'd be so good, wouldn't it? Just a bit of novelty. It'd be great.
Well, they're
Yeah.
doing a new. There'll be another series of Wednesday.
Oh, are they?
Coming
Oh,
out,
okay.
and
No, I didn't watch
yeah, that's really popular. That's done well. But yeah, no, but yeah, Monster Mash is it's so catchy. It's stuck in your head for days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but-
that's a great one. Yeah, fantastic.
So those are three I thought of. I've got a few more, but they're ones that we'll sort of talk about at the end. But those were the top three I could think of.
Oh, nice one, mate. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd Star Trek in, so yeah, that's one of them. Spitting Image, the Chicken Song. There's a few to choose from.
Oh God,
Spitting
yeah.
Image did several. They did Our House,
South
didn't they?
African?
Parody of Never Meet an I South African, the Our House one. I'll be honest, I've only watched bits of Spitting Image. It kind of went off air when I was growing up, and I didn't really, I've gone back and watched it. I haven't watched the whole series, but I've seen enough of it to kind of appreciate it. And yeah, just catchy tune.
Oh, so was it Stick a Dexter up your nose?
Yeah.
Was it Learn a Rapper
Did you hope you
Behead an Eskimo?
That's
I don't
it.
know,
Yeah,
Behead
yeah.
an Eskimo.
And
Just
pretend your name is Keith.
insane.
Pretend your name is Keith, I think. Or something like
Pretend your name is Keith.
that. Yeah. But I just love it because you've got like Chris Barry on there.
Yeah.
You've got John
Coogan
Culshaw.
involved?
Yeah. I think John Culshaw's in there as well. Like you forget how many sort of well-known names from this, became later on well-known that were on Spitting Image and did the voices and stuff. Like, yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. No, it was like just biting satire that one. I loved it. But
Oh gosh,
I think it was
yeah,
just a bit before our time, but it was still going.
Yeah, the ultimate anti-Thatcherism, really, wasn't it? Like,
God, yeah.
regular. Sort of.
You've seen the was it the famous one where it's got Thatcher and she's pissing stood up in the men's urinals? She's like she whips it out and starts. And the other was it they're ordering she's with her cabinet and they're ordering a meal, and she goes, I'll have a steak, and he goes, what about the vegetables? And she goes, they'll have the same as me.
Brilliant. I love Norman Tebbit as well. Like go around with his like he's in the SS, isn't he?
He's got like black leather gear on, and
yeah. And if you look at him, he does look fierce, didn't he? He was like a real enforcer, wasn't he?
Was he Chief Whip?
Yeah, Chief Whip, basically. No one messed about with him. It's like, sort of.
If you've ever watched the New Statesman, like you could sort of see. I know it's but yeah, it's like any chief whip and that is basically to just bring anyone in line who starts to disagree with the leader. So bring him in line or get rid of him.
Yeah,
so,
that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
No, good choice that.
And then my top one, which I just love this song, and it I guess it classes as a novelty. I'm classing it as novelty. It's the theme tune to the Rising Damp film, but the Rigsby version. So there's a version where Leonard Rossiter speaks over the chorus bit, and it's just fantastic. It's just a catchy tune, great film, Rising Damp, and you got Leonard Rossiter giving a bit of narration in there as well.
I do like Only Fools did that, didn't they, with the Down to Margate?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, with the Chaz and Dave. Yeah, because that was a song in its own right before, and then it in '89 when they did the special. Yeah.
So I remember like Nicholas Lyndhurst talking over it, going, "Hurry up, Uncle Albert! Oh, you
That's
want
it.
to go in down?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But I mean, you never hear that now, do you?
No, could you imagine like Lee Mack doing it for Not Going Out or Mrs. Brown's Boys or whatever?
Oh God,
I want to hear that actually, but yeah, no, it's again something something just of that era, wasn't it? I have
Mm.
looked at trying to get that on vinyl because you sort of widely available on YouTube, but original
Yeah.
vinyl still knocks about from time to time. So yeah,
Again, that Rise of That was such a good film. That translated really well, didn't it?
it did. Yeah,
Film.
holds up very well. Yeah, funny,
Yeah.
lots of funny scenes and stuff, and yeah,
The
and
well,
stuff different about it as well. Obviously, they have Seymour falling in love with Miss Jones, and they never meet in the series, do they? She'd gone by the time you Seymour arrives, so
oh
quite a
God,
different
yeah.
twist on
See,
it, isn't
man.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, try. I never linked that before.
yeah, no, that's it. Because
Yeah.
yes, she goes off with what's his name?
What the because
Robin
this.
Parkinson's character. God,
Oh God, because Seymour in the like you said in the series
yeah.
comes and goes, but then in the movie she falls in love.
She
Yeah,
falls in love with him.
because
Yeah, that's
Rigsby
right.
catches him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he just goes into that. It's quite a somber moment, isn't it? Really, because he just
Yeah, I feel bad for him
loses,
there.
isn't he? And he's really downbeat. And there's a scene in the pub. That's what I liked about the film. They go elsewhere than just the
Mm.
house, don't they? They go down the pub or whatever, and he's just drowning his sorrows down there, and they're trying to cheer him up. Yeah, proper good one.
You see this? Is it the start where that builder walks in with a big sign saying "Rising Damp"? He goes, "Rising Damp." He's trying to get me shut down. He goes, "How can you have Rising Damp in your attic?"
Yeah,
He goes, "My God, the British worker."
yeah. And the guy just shouts, "Shut it," or something, doesn't he? And just walks off and
Yeah, he goes.
gets stuffed or something.
He goes, "Oh, this lot don't fall down by the end of 6 months or something." He goes, "It'll see you out by a long way, mate."
Well, if we ever do a tour of London, I think that house is somewhere in London. I bet we could find it fairly easy. So we'll
I
pass
have
on
to find that. Yeah,
a
that's the
little
next one. It was either that or Margate. Tom was on about doing, wasn't he?
Oh, Margate, yeah, of course, yeah.
Richard, because
Yeah.
Dreamland, I think it'd be good to go to because obviously there's so many locations that.
I think the wooden roller coaster's still there, isn't it? What it's called, the Big Dipper, or whatever. So
Oh God,
interesting. But a few little honorable mentions. So Hootsmon by Lord Rockingham's 11. That was quite a catchy. I always remember
Hootsman.
do you remember the as it Wine Gums advert? It was like a talking.
Ah,
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
but that's similar to the one I thought of. Is Donald Where's Your Trousers?
Donald Wages Choosers, great song.
Yeah, was it? I was listening to it the other night. I thought I haven't heard this for ages. There's a bit in it. He does an Elvis impression, and it is spot on because he goes that's how I do it as a Scotsman. And he's like, if I
Yeah.
was a bit American, I'd do it like this. And he's like, oh. It's like an amazing help. But yeah, Donald Where's Your Trousers?
Oh, great song.
Another
Great,
comedy
great.
record.
I've been playing to the kids quite a bit recently. You kind of shove your granny off a bus.
Oh gosh.
Because I think Russ Abbott did a version of it, like dressed in a kilt and everything on his TV show, and that's on
Oh,
YouTube.
he was the king of like comedy songs. When do you
He
remember
was. His whole
Atmosphere?
album is brilliant. He's done a whole album called Atmosphere, I think it was, or
Yeah,
Party,
Party Atmosphere or something.
Party Atmosphere. And it's just great. He does Monster Mash on that, his own version of
Does
Monster.
he?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. It's quite a good version of it, actually. I must admit, yeah.
Do you know what? He's another one I think we brought up when we were doing the Three Comedos. You never hear of him now. And as a
No.
kid, I can remember
Yeah.
sketch shows he did.
Yeah.
Was it with Les Dennis? He did a
He did
show.
Les Dennis. Yeah. It's got
The stuff he used to write, but it was clever.
That was it. Cooper Man wasn't there. There was, yeah, I'd always had, was it Bella Remberg was in
Yeah.
it? Well, yeah, just, yeah, he was a real kind of like one man entertainer, wasn't he? He was,
Yeah, he was.
yeah, I
a
think
bit.
he's retired. He sort of just did less.
Yeah, I couldn't remember whether he'd been cancelled or something because you just never
No,
hear
I
about
think
it. But
he's
I think
just,
he's
he did Summer Wine for a bit. Then he did one called, Boomers. It's really good. I recommend watching it. It's on Netflix recently. It's about these like 60-year-olds. But yeah, it was just so funny, just really, really well written. But yeah, he just does less and less now. Last I heard of him, someone was trying to get I think it was Atmosphere or something similar to number one. They were trying to get him at Christmas number one. And it didn't happen, but he was kind of involved with the process of trying to do that. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I just remember him so much as a kid.
Mm.
Clever comedy, but
Yeah.
yeah, in a similar way to Ken Dodd, but obviously didn't do stand up. But yeah, but Ken Dodd was another one.
He had a great
like
voice, Ken Dodd, didn't he? If you hear his
yeah,
voice, like he was almost like he could have done a second career. Like
yeah.
really well held a tune fantastically, didn't he?
Oh God, yeah, like with Tears for Souvenirs and
Yeah,
um,
Happiness.
Happiness. Listen to the end of Happiness and how he holds a note.
Yeah,
It's bonkers, isn't it?
it's great, isn't it?
But I
Or as
think he...
Angelos Epithemia and Barry say, he's actually singing about his penis, happiness. That's what they reckon,
I'll
anyway.
ask you that when I see it.
Yeah,
Boy,
happiness,
Angelos.
happiness,
I
the
think
greatest gift you can
I
ever
think he
get.
carries around like a plastic bag, Angelos, as well,
Oh,
doesn't
he
he?
does. What's in your bag, Angelos?
What's in the bag? So
That is what's in your bag, you bastard. That was
I like
Bob
this bit
started
though. Where
that.
he does like it's like the Angelos voice, that lisp,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then he'll
Yeah.
go, "Oh, I'll do my impressions," and then
Oh,
he'll do like a perfect impression of somebody, like
it's
pitch
good.
perfect when they, and you think,
Yeah,
"What?"
he does a great Kim Jong Un. Him and Barry go on to Kim Jong Un, and they do. He does a really good impression of the guy who owns Pimlico Plumbers. I forgot his name. He's like this famous
Oh, is
kind
he?
of pro
I've heard him
Brexit guy. I
doing
can't remember
Duncan
his name.
Bannatyne.
Yeah, he's done Duncan by
He
the
does a good
time.
one of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does a really good Marty Pello because one of their things in their show is they reckon Marty Pello now runs a travel lodge in Edinburgh. And
Does he?
he doesn't, but this is their story. They
Oh
made this
God, yeah.
story up that he's running this travel lodge, but he keeps referring back to his singing past, and it's just amazing.
Wet, wet, wet.
Wet, wet, wet. Yeah, yeah. I toured with Wet, Wet, Wet. Yeah, we had loads of hits. Yeah, we're fantastic. But I keep a tight ship here now. Honestly, it's so bizarre. But he nails it. Absolutely
That's a
nails it.
sitcom.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, Marty Pello, B&B. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, he had a few, didn't he, Ken Dodd? And then the other one I came up with, do you remember Link to Dad's Army, Clive Dunn with Grandad?
I had that on my list. I took it off actually, but yeah, I did think of that one. Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's
that
a great
seems to
song, isn't
be
it?
like
Yeah.
Christmases as well. You can never get away from that.
Yeah.
I wonder how that come about.
Well, didn't he play a character called Grandad? I might have made that up. Hang on, let's have
Hmm.
a look. I'm sure it might have been a sitcom. I think
Clive Dunn, he seemed to.
it was a spin-off because obviously he became renowned for playing older characters, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. He's so good
Clive
at,
Grandad
like Jack Jones, he's so good at playing the older man.
song was released. Oh no, he did. Yeah, starred as Charlie Grandad in children's TV show, but it didn't. It wasn't actually related to it. So he did this song in the early 70s, basically the height of Dad's Army. But
Hmm.
then years later, he played a character called Grandad. So yeah, but
Yeah.
coincidence, I think. But yeah, nice.
I've
Well, I
got
had the
another
Million
one that.
Elephant by the Toy Dolls, which
Oh
is
God, yeah, that's
great a
true.
bit of punk music as you'll ever hear.
Yeah,
Kind of children's story, children's nursery rhyme thrown in.
Nelly the Elephant God.
Great.
There's A Link to One Foot is Charles Penrose, the Laughing
Oh, the
Policeman.
Laughing Policeman. Oh,
Yeah.
we found one of them in Hull. We got one Holly to Hull. Earlier.
Hull,
Yeah, Ollie, what's its name? We
Yorkshire.
actually got one. We got it's like a retro arcade, and
Yeah.
you got 20p, which we didn't at the time. We always cash these days. So next time we take some cash up. Harrison's desperate to see it. Alex thinks it's.
Yeah. So was it like a model of it?
No, it's an actual Laughing Policeman. So the Laughing
Oh,
Policeman
is
was
it?
a
Yeah.
like a like an amusement arcade toy, like an not toy, automaton. So it would actually sing,
Yeah.
what have you. And they've preserved it, kept it from the 30s or 40s.
God.
So that's where the song came from. I think it was a song. I think it was that first, then it became a song by Charles Penrose. But yeah.
Oh, that's another one that it's like quite haunting, that
Oh,
song.
mate, yeah, it's not. And
Yeah.
actually, looking at the Laughing Policeman is quite scary.
Yeah,
Surprised
God.
Harrison wants to watch it because he normally doesn't like.
He's traumatized.
I've got to give the honorable mention to Weird Al Yankovic as well because he was like
Yeah.
pioneer of kind of Mickey taking songs, wasn't he? Like,
Do you know what? I was going to say, yeah, he's the only one really. Like I remember you said about Chris Moyles doing it a few years
yeah, Chris
back,
Moyles done it.
but
Yeah.
Weird Al, yeah, he's been. We rewatched the Naked Gun films
Oh, wow.
recently, and he's in all of them, and he's just like Weird
Yeah.
Al. But
Yeah.
he's done like like a surgeon instead of like a virgin.
Yeah.
Was it another one? Bites the Crest. He's done
eBay,
hundreds
he's done eBay to the tune of I Want It My Way. I bought it on
on
eBay.
eBay.
Um, he's done Jurassic Park in the style of MacArthur Park. That's a great one. He's done Amish Paradise, Gangster's Paradise.
There's so many, but
There
he's
are, aren't
definitely
there? Yeah, you
pioneering
just
that
keep going.
genre, isn't he?
And again, that's
Oh,
not easy to do, that is it? To kind of really kind of take that and spin it and come up with lyrics that are funny and yeah.
no.
But obviously, he's appreciating the songs. He does keep the songs the same. He's sort of going, actually, it's a pretty decent sort of song he likes it. He's just obviously having some fun with it, isn't he? But yeah, no, that's it. And Mr. Blobby, I mean, love it or
God.
hate it, it was huge, wasn't it, in early
Mr.
90s?
Blobby. God. Remember the Noel's house party with the Gunge tank and all that? And yeah,
Loved it.
God,
Absolutely
yeah,
loved it.
it was
Yeah.
like I think the best telly I ever got was that
Yeah.
Gladiators. I
Yeah.
remember.
Noel's House Party. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Big
just going to
break.
turn into a 90s nostalgia pod. They said
Oh
it.
no, mate.
That's
No,
brilliant.
that's it. But it's just
I
so
love
nice
it.
to take trips down memory lane, isn't it? And
Oh,
that. I
well,
mean, we
it
haven't
was
talked about
that.
Snooker Loopy. We could do a whole pod on Snooker Loopy.
Oh God, yeah.
Phone
I thought I knew you
podcast.
were going to come up with that because it was the first
Well,
one
I
popped
thought
in my
about it,
head.
but I was trying to keep them sort of TV sitcom-ish. So I sort of thought, well, I'll just put that in the mentions. But yeah,
Well, I listened the other week again to the Romford Rap, and I could see why it got to number 97 in the chart.
I was going to say, not a great follow-up, was it?
I was dread.
After
Well,
could have just left it like that.
I don't know if we podded since, but I went and saw the Blackball remake with
Oh yeah, yeah,
Dennis
yeah,
Taylor and Steve
yeah,
Davis,
yeah.
didn't I? Was that
Yeah.
January?
Oh, you did, mate. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
went and saw, and Davis brought that up. He said about Snooker Loopy,
Yeah.
but he said he was so relieved when Romford Rap just bombed because it meant that Barry Hearn wasn't going to force him to do any more music.
No,
Because
no.
Barry wanted them to be music stars, and like Davis was like, "No, I just want to play snooker." So
Anything
because
for a
Snooker Loopy
buck,
did so
old Bazza,
well,
innit? Yeah.
Ron for Rap then hit 97 in the charts and just flopped. So yeah, but how did they end up on top of the pops?
It's like anything, isn't it? If he's fairly popular, gets in the top 20 or something, they'll play it. Terry Wogan's been on top of the pop singing the floral dance, hasn't he? So like,
Oh God,
anyone
that's
can
another.
get.
I'm sure Dad's Army did that as well, didn't they? The
Yeah,
floral.
they did, didn't they? Dad, the floral dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, lots of, you don't need much to actually get there, do you? But again, that's another thing I miss. Top of the Pops. Like, obviously, I'm not
Yeah.
huge into pop music these days, but that was a staple of sort of 90s for me. Watching Top of the Pops, and
Mm.
yeah, I enjoy watching Top of the Pops too now, and some of the like retro ones they put on.
Yeah, the ones with Steve Wright used to narrate. And do you know what,
Yeah,
we do
that's right.
that
Yeah, yeah,
now and again. We'll do that on a Friday night. We'll just whack on the top of the pops and we'll pick a
yeah.
year and just
Yeah,
go
it's good,
through.
isn't it? Yeah,
You know,
91,
the,
84,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
But no, it's good.
I thought
But
the outfits at the time. Yeah.
one of them reminds me of top of the pops. Do you remember Timmy Mallet?
Timmy
Timmy
Mallet.
Mallet, itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow
We were
polka
going to go
dot.
to a festival with the kids that he was at. For some reason, we couldn't go. So the next year we emailed the organisers and they said, "Oh no, he's not coming this year."
Ah,
Shay Alex was gutted, but she loved him growing up. So yeah, we nearly
well,
got to.
I think now he tours the country on a bike.
Does he?
I've seen him. He's in like cricket and he's got like this madcap
All
eccentric
right.
bike and he just goes
Yeah.
around taking pictures of wherever he is.
Yeah.
But he's got
Nice.
to be getting on, isn't he?
I reckon so. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, it's hard to tell. He was wearing odd glasses, wasn't he? But I guess he wasn't particularly young in the 90s or whatever, was he? But yeah. No, I remember he used to. Was he CITV? He was the kind of in-house,
Yeah,
in between guy, wasn't he? On there.
proper madcap when he just.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely off his trolley. But yeah. Speaking of people going around, I read somewhere recently, it might have stopped now, but Dave Benson Phillips, you remember
Oh God, yeah, 50-50,
Romac?
is it?
Apparently
Yeah,
he
get your own
tours
back.
that and you can hire him and he will come and bring the whole gunge and everything and get your own back. It's what
Really?
genuine. I read somewhere, yeah, I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but
That's crackers, yeah.
might as well make some money, hasn't he? He's not being used by BBC anymore, so
No, do you know what? I know back to Timmy Mallet, funny. I can remember him doing that.
oh yeah.
Mid 2000s, because I remember his argument was a lot of the wide awakers were all at uni. So
Right.
he used to tour unis and make,
Might as well,
I
hasn't
don't know
he?
if he
Yeah,
made a bomb, but they could all remember it. Yeah, and he's
well,
like whack 'em
Chesney
on the
Hawks
head.
has done the same and done well out of it, hasn't he? Chesney Hawks
Yeah,
was
yeah. Trust me, he's
big
got a
student unions throughout the 2000s, wasn't he? Because people growing up remembered him, and
old Chesney.
yeah,
But
his brother recently actually, he was pretty good on that. Yeah.
yeah, God, but he's aged well. He don't seem to have changed a lot.
No, he looked good.
Like-
Looked good in it. Yeah, about 50 odd, I think he was now. So
But yeah, so literally the other ones I came up with was the Lumberjack song,
oh
Monty
God.
Python.
Yeah, I thought about that one. No,
And that's quite strange because you think that's like the equivalent of, say, League of Gentlemen doing that now with the song.
yeah.
Could
Could you actually? Yeah.
And then I also thought of Is Any Old Iron by Peter Sellers, but I think a few of them did that song.
Peter Sellers did a few, didn't he? Yeah, he was pretty good. I'm sure the Goon. I'm sure Tyler and the Goon Pods talked about those, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's covered that. Yeah, he did one recently with Roland Rivron.
Oh wow!
And funny enough, they talk about Rick Mail in it because Rivron he lived with Rick Mail for a while.
Wow!
But when they were writing Young Ones, especially, he was living with them, and they were just in a pub
Yeah,
writing it all day. And yeah, that's an interesting pod. If you get
yeah. It's
to
very very diverse, isn't it? Lots of different
the
stuff.
Goon Show, yeah,
He
it's
did.
just like
He covered the Casino Royale film with Peter Sellers in, which I
mm,
really like that film.
yeah. Oh
Interesting.
yeah, that's good. Beg your pardon, Goon Pod, not Goon Show, Goon Pod.
Goon, yeah, Goon Pod. Yeah, that was
Um,
it.
but yeah, no, it's interesting that. Yeah, and the other ones. So I thought of Benny Hill, Ernie.
Ernie, oh Ernie,
His name
great,
was
great
Ernie.
song. Oh,
But,
Two-Ton Ted from Teddington, wasn't it? And Joe the Baker's bad.
oh yeah,
Ernie had a widow. What was it? Ernie loved a widow. Number 82. Yeah.
yeah, oh God. But yeah, a bit like Pat Mustard.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's
From
got a real Pat Mustard feel
Father
to it.
Ted. Yeah. Yeah, that one is one more I came up with the Ying Tong song, The Goons, Spike Milligan. Yeah,
Oh,
have you
yeah.
heard that? Ying
Yeah.
Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong, Ying Tong,
Yeah.
Ying Tong Nid Po. But that I remember hearing as a kid and thinking that's insane.
Mm.
But there is one which is very haunting, and now it's been used in horror films. Have you seen it, Insidious, mate?
I have a long time ago, probably about 10 years ago. It was a good film, enjoyed it, but yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, because I know you're a big fan of horrors. Well,
Do you like
Tiny.
horror films? Yeah, yeah.
There's also a link to Dad's Army. This so it's Tiny
Oh,
Tim
tip,
tiptoe through the
Tiptoe Through the
tulips.
Tulips. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
spot on because it's a
weird.
really creepy dream sequence of this. I don't remember what it was, but you're absolutely right. And I remember thinking, where have I heard that before? And then it was Dad's Army, wasn't it?
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where
Well, it's
Man,
Mandarin. Whenever he's pissed or drugged, he's
yeah.
like tiptoe through the tulips.
Gosh.
But if you slow it down, it's such a weird song.
Yeah.
But I get like strange character that Tiny Tim guy. He's a sort of unique looking guy. High pitched voice. He did loads of albums. I think he did.
Oh, wow.
But always in like that high pitched like soprano, a bit like that.
There was
But
Whispering Grass as well, wasn't there? With
with Donna Estelle.
Estelle and Spencer, not Spencer,
Windsor Davis.
Windsor Davis. Yeah.
Lovely shoulders, show 'em off.
Which again, still shamefully, I've not really watched much. I thought,
I used to go on about
on the
this a lot.
shelf to watch for about 12 years.
I've since learned, Michael Bates. I didn't realise because he's more or less doesn't get shown much at Einar Farman because he's doing brownface. But it's a bit more to it than that. He was born in
Yeah, he was.
Pakistan
Yeah.
and he spoke fluent Urdu.
Yeah.
So it's not just a case of somebody blacking up and doing a dodgy accent. I think, he had legitimate, claim to doing that character. So I think it's a bit
'Cause
frustrating.
he was the third guy in Summer Wine as well. He did 2 series in Summer Wine.
Yeah,
And then I think I can't remember why he left. And then he died, didn't he? Fairly young. He had cancer or something, so he wasn't around much longer. But yeah, very underrated actor.
But no, if you get a shot, I'll send you the DVDs if you want. It's definitely worth a rewatch.
Oh, I've got him, mate. I got him for my
Oh, have
birthday.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, I got him about 12 years ago. I just
We
never
get
got around to
before-
watching it. It's one of them things.
Well,
It's on the
come
list.
June,
to watch.
come
Well,
June,
thank
we
you anyway.
we
But, yeah.
that's right. Come June, we hopefully going to get Dan Lowe and Giorgio back on the
Nice.
pod, aren't we?
Yeah.
No, Dan Lewis and Giorgio Lowe. I always get the names mixed up. Yeah, because they're performing in Newport in June.
Nice.
So I'm
Yeah.
going with the missus to see that. I think I told
Yeah.
you tonight, and then they're going to come on the pod afterwards after the
Great
tour.
stuff. Yeah,
And I
great.
think he asked us to need to watch a bit of Phil Silver's show.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I haven't done it, but I've thought about it. I can't
Watch
remember.
that and
Yeah,
Elaine
yeah.
R. Fotman, and we'll come up with a
Nice.
pod.
Funky Moped, Jasper Carrot, that's another one.
God, yeah,
You
Funky
know that
Mo-
one.
how
My
does
dad
that
loves
go?
Jasper Carrot. Absolutely adores Jasper Carrot. But
Yeah, he was a lot like Russ Abbott when he was
yeah,
clever.
a bit of an all-rounder. Could do
Mm.
quite a few different things. Good singer as well. Yeah, Funky Moped.
Let me have a look at Funky Moped. I'm gonna have to YouTube that, so you might
Catchy as I remember. Yeah.
hear it in the background. So apologies to the list. Apologies
Now,
to the
hopefully the listeners
listener.
are all dashing out to, YouTube these because there's some great ones.
1975 August.
Wow. He's still going, Jasper. He's still doing stuff. He's still
Yeah.
touring here and there. Yeah. I really liked him in The Detectives with Robert Powell. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Oh, I remember that came out. Yeah, it was.
Great fun.
This is him.
Funny little series, comedy drama type thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
We'll get my mouth head out on the road. Yeah, that is good. I remember that. Yeah, it's a good song.
I'll tell my dad that we were listening. We talked about this because I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, tell him we'll put it on the pod.
Yeah.
He's bringing it back, is your dad? So
That's
yeah,
it,
no,
yeah.
that was about it really. Just updates, like I said, we have got a guest coming on hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still on Twitter. I added us to Blue Sky now, mate, as well.
Okay, nice.
Quite an
Yeah.
interesting app. Yeah, we're still on Insta on StepPod. And we continue on YouTube. I'm going to try and get some more shorts put on YouTube.
I do enjoy the shorts you put on there, I meant to say. Yeah, they're really good. And there's some great conversations going on YouTube as well. Some lovely feedback from people, isn't there? It's really nice. So
Yeah, I love it. Every time we put one on, you get a couple of people because we haven't got a massive. Like I said, we're now up to 249 subscribers.
oh, it's not bad. That's
So
good.
yeah,
Good
from
for
now
that.
to
Yeah.
that.
No, that's great. That's we're very niche, but obviously there are people out there that hopefully will, word of mouth will spread and people will, yeah, I keep plugging it through Facebook groups and stuff. So yeah, let's see how many people want to listen to us. It'd be good.
Nice one, mate. Yeah, so pick one of those songs and I'll put that on to play us out. Go on, what do you think?
Which one should we go? Let's go with Right Said Fred. I think that's a tribute to Bernard. Yeah.
Right, said Fred. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, everyone. Take care.
Tried to shift it, couldn't even lift it. We was getting nowhere, and so we had a cup of tea. And right said Fred, give a shout for Charlie. Up comes Charlie from the floor below. After straining, even and complaining, we was getting nowhere, and so...
Hi, this is Susanna Corbett. Thanks for downloading Steptod and Son.
Hello and welcome to Steptod and Son, a podcast based at Mews Cottage, 26A, Aldrum Lane, Shepherd's Bush. This is the home of the world's most famous rag and bowmen, or as Harold would say,
Salvage recovery operative.
my name's Darren.
And I'm his co-host Si, also known as 2 of the 3 Comedios podcast that we co-host along with the amazing Tom from One Foot in the Podcast.
We hope you enjoy listening. Please check out the pod on Spotify, Insta, Twitter and all other platforms.
Hi, this is Susanna Corbett. Thanks for downloading Stepod and Son.